Luminous Academy, just the name sent shivers down your spine. Good shivers, mostly. This wasn't your average stuffy boarding school with creaky floors and grumpy teachers. Oh no. Luminous Academy was where magic came alive. It perched atop the soaring peaks of the Skyreacher Mountains, its iridescent towers shimmering like captured rainbows against the endless blue. Students from every corner of the known world journeyed here, their hearts pounding with a singular, electrifying hope. They came for the magic, for the knowledge, but most importantly, they came for the awakening ceremony. This was the day legends were born, you see. The awakening ceremony wasn't just some fancy school tradition, it was everything. It was the moment, precisely on a student's 16th birthday, when their dormant mana heart would finally ignite. Imagine a tiny sleeping star tucked inside your chest, just waiting for the right cosmic alarm clock to go off. That was the mana heart. And the ceremony? That was the universe hitting the snooze button, except instead of more sleep, you got awesome, world-changing powers. This ceremony marked the true beginning of their journey as mages, a pivotal point where childhood dreams met the threshold of dazzling reality, a new chapter written in glowing ink. For generations, Luminous Academy had been the beacon for young, aspiring mages. Its walls hummed with ancient enchantments, its libraries overflowed with scrolls detailing forgotten spells and heroic sagas. The very air crackled with latent magical energy, a constant reminder of the power that flowed through this sacred place. The professors weren't just academics, they were legendary mages themselves, heroes who had faced down shadow beasts and negotiated with grumpy mountain spirits. They were here to guide, to mentor, and to ensure that when a student's mana heart awakened, they were ready to handle the brilliant, often chaotic surge of power. The significance of the awakening ceremony couldn't be overstated. It was more than a rite of passage, it was a personal dawn. Each student knew that the power they awakened would shape their future, define their path, and perhaps even determine the fate of kingdoms. The anticipation was a living thing, a vibrant current that flowed through the dormitories and lecture halls. It was a time of immense hope, a period where every whispered wish and every late-night study session felt like a step closer to an incredible destiny, a destiny that was uniquely their own, waiting to unfold in a blaze of magical glory. You could practically taste the excitement in the air. It was thicker than Mrs. Gable's infamous treacle tart, and that was saying something. Students gathered in hushed, excited clusters in the sun-dappled courtyards and echoing common rooms.
Mine's next week! I dreamt I was soaring over the crystal sea, wind magic, I just know it!
Whatever you get, Elara, it'll be amazing! I'm hoping for Earth. Imagine raising fortresses with a stomp of my foot!
Their voices were just two in a chorus of hopeful murmurs. The days leading up to any student's 16th birthday were a unique blend of nervous energy and unbridled joy. You'd see them poring over ancient texts, trying to guess what their affinity might be. Would it be the roaring passion of fire, the calm depths of water, the steadfast strength of earth, or the swift freedom of wind, or perhaps something rarer? Little groups would practice their basic incantations, their hands tracing glowing patterns in the air, imagining the day those simple sparks would blossom into something truly spectacular. The dreams were big, bold, and wonderfully diverse, each one a testament to the unique spirit of the dreamer.
I just want to be strong enough to protect my village. Water magic would be a gift from the ancestors.
Her roommate, a boisterous boy named Finnegan who hailed from a long line of battle mages, nodded seriously.
And you will be, Lyra. We all will. We're at Luminous, aren't we? We're meant for great things.
This shared sense of purpose, this collective yearning for the awakening, bound them together stronger than any magical tether. The conversations were endless, weaving through study sessions, mealtimes, and late-night whispers.
Think of the adventures.
Think of the discoveries we'll make.
There was a palpable sense of standing on the precipice of something grand. The academy itself seemed to hold its breath, its ancient stones echoing with the collective anticipation of its bright-eyed, hopeful students. Every sunrise brought them closer, and with each passing hour, the buzz grew louder, the dreams shone brighter, and the future felt incredibly, wonderfully close. It was a symphony of hope, played on the heartstrings of a generation. Mana hearts. They weren't just poetic fancy, they were real. Each student at Luminous Academy carried one, a seed of raw, magical potential nestled deep within their being. When it awakened, it didn't just switch on like a light bulb. Oh no, it bloomed. taking on a specific elemental affinity, a unique flavor of magic that resonated with the students' innermost nature. These affinities were diverse, each representing a different aspect of the world's power and the wielder's own spirit. Understanding them was key to understanding the path that lay ahead for each young mage, a path they would walk with newfound power. The most common, yet no less incredible, were the four primary mana hearts: fire, water, earth, and wind. A fire mana heart blazed with passion, courage, and an untamable spirit. Those who awakened this power could command flames, summon infernos, and their very presence felt like a warm hearth or a raging wildfire. Water mana hearts, conversely, represented adaptability, intuition, and the profound depths of emotion. Mages of water could control tides, heal with soothing currents, and perceive truths hidden beneath the surface. They moved like the river, sometimes calm, sometimes a torrent, but always powerful. Then there was the earth mana heart, embodying strength, resilience, and an unshakable connection to the living world. Earth mages were the protectors, the builders, capable of shaping stone, coaxing life from barren soil, and standing firm against any storm. Their magic was grounding, a comforting presence of stability. And the wind mana heart? It sang of freedom, intellect, and the exhilarating rush of boundless possibility. Wind mages could dance with the gales, communicate across vast distances on whispers of air, and their minds were as sharp and quick as a summer breeze turning into a hurricane. Beyond these four, whispers persisted of rarer, more specialized mana hearts. Light and shadow, a delicate balance of illumination and mystery. Celestial hearts, attuned to the cosmos and the stars. Even rarer still were legendary affinities spoken of only in the oldest texts. Each type of mana heart was a gift, a unique lens through which a mage would interact with the world and their own potential. The students knew this. They discussed it endlessly, wondering which element truly mirrored their soul, which power would rise to meet them on their awaited awakening day. It was a vibrant spectrum of possibilities awaiting them. Luminous Academy wasn't all daydreaming about epic powers and choosing cool mage names, though there was certainly a bit of that. No, the path to the awakening ceremony and beyond was paved with good old-fashioned hard work. The training program was legendary for its rigor. It was designed to push students to their limits and then a little further, just for good measure. This wasn't cruelty, it was preparation. The professors knew that awakened magic, untamed and undisciplined, could be as dangerous as a grumpy dragon with a toothache. They were forging mages, strong and capable. The curriculum was intense. Long hours were spent in the training grounds, practicing stances, channeling minute amounts of ambient magic, and mastering the basics of energy control even before their mana hearts awakened. There were grueling physical conditioning sessions, designed to build stamina and resilience. After all, slinging powerful spells could be surprisingly tiring. You couldn't just wave a wand and expect miracles if you were out of breath after climbing a flight of stairs. The academy ensured its students were as physically fit as they were mentally agile, ready for any challenge. Then, there were the academic studies. History of magic, a subject far more exciting than it sounds, filled with tales of heroic mages and catastrophic magical mishaps, important lessons there. Arcane theory, which made your brain feel like it was doing gymnastics. Herbology, learning about plants that could heal you, poison you, or make you temporarily invisible, handy for avoiding chores. And of course, ethics of magic, because with great power comes, well, you know the drill. This rigorous learning wasn't just about knowledge, it was about building a foundation of understanding and respect for magic. This demanding regimen had a profound impact. It stripped away complacency, fostered discipline, and instilled a deep-seated understanding of the responsibilities that came with wielding magic. Students learned to focus, to persevere, to push through their doubts. And importantly, this crucible of training built confidence, not the arrogant kind, but the quiet, steady belief in their own ability to learn, to adapt, and to eventually master the incredible power that awaited them. They weren't just hoping for magic, they were actively preparing to be worthy of it every single day. Section 5. A tapestry of dreams, diverse paths, one goal. Step into the Great Hall of Luminous Academy during lunchtime and you'd see it. A vibrant, noisy, wonderful tapestry of young people. They came from all walks of life, from every conceivable background. There were children of noble houses, their robes impeccably tailored, sitting next to youngsters from remote farming villages, their hands still calloused from honest labor, Some hailed from bustling merchant cities, their minds sharp with worldly knowledge, while others arrived from secluded monastic orders, their spirits already touched by quiet contemplation. It was a true melting pot, a testament to magic's disregard for social standing. You might find Kale, whose family were renowned dragon tamers from the volcanic eastern reach, animatedly discussing flight theory with Anya, a girl who grew up navigating the treacherous ice flows of the northern shards. He dreamed of fire, of soaring alongside his family's scaled companions. She hoped for water, to command the ice and protect her people. Their backgrounds were as different as fire and ice, yet here they were, sharing a table, sharing a laugh, united by a singular, powerful ambition that burned brightly in each of them. Despite their varied origins, their different accents, and the myriad of traditions they brought with them, one shared goal pulsed through the student body: to awaken their mana heart and master the art of magic. This common dream was a powerful equalizer. It didn't matter if your parents were kings or bakers. At Luminous, your potential was what defined you. The desire to harness the incredible energies of the world, to protect, to discover, to create, transcended all other differences. It forged an unspoken bond between them. This shared purpose fostered a unique camaraderie. They were rivals, yes, in the friendly academic sense, always pushing each other to be better. But they were also allies, comrades on the same extraordinary journey. They helped each other decipher complex magical theories, offered encouragement during grueling training sessions, and shared stories of their homes and their hopes late into the night. Luminous Academy wasn't just a school, it was a place where individual threads of destiny were woven together, creating a stronger, more vibrant pattern, all pointed towards a future illuminated by magic. Among the many hopeful faces at Luminous Academy, one often stood out: Levi. He wasn't the loudest, nor the flashiest. He didn't boast about his lineage or make grand pronouncements about the incredible powers he was destined to awaken. Instead, Levi possessed a quiet, unshakable confidence that radiated from him like a steady warmth. It was a determination etched into the focused line of his brow during practice, the calm certainty in his eyes when he spoke of the upcoming awakening. He simply knew deep in his core that he was ready.
Levi's confidence wasn't born of arrogance. It was forged in the fires of relentless preparation and an almost profound self-awareness. He was always the first on the training grounds and the last to leave the library. He didn't just learn the techniques, he sought to understand the principles behind them.
He meditated daily, not just to calm his mind, but to listen to the faint whispers of his own dormant magic, to connect with the potential that lay within. He believed in the Academy's teachings, but more importantly, he believed in his own capacity to meet the challenge. His unwavering belief had a ripple effect on his peers. When doubts crept into their minds, as they inevitably did, watching Levi train or hearing his calm, reasoned perspective often helped to dispel their fears.
He just believes, Lyra once said, watching him practice complex energy patterns. Not in a showy way, he's just confident. It makes you think, maybe I can be too. He didn't preach or lecture, he simply led by example, his dedication a silent testament to the power of focused effort and inner conviction.
Levi often shared his insights, not as a know-it-all but as a fellow traveler on the path. The magic is already there, he'd say during group study sessions, tapping his chest lightly. The ceremony just opens the door. Our job is to be strong enough to walk through it. His words, simple yet profound, resonated with many. He reminded them that the awakening wasn't just something that happened them, it was something they actively prepared for, something they earned. And in his quiet, determined way, Levi made everyone around him believe a little more strongly in themselves. The professors at Luminous Academy often spoke of it, though perhaps not in such direct terms. They emphasized discipline, knowledge, and control. But woven through all their lessons was an unspoken truth. Confidence was a crucial ingredient in the magical equation. Believing in oneself, truly and deeply, wasn't just a nice sentiment. It was a powerful catalyst, especially when it came to the volatile and deeply personal moment of Amana Heart's awakening. The mind, they hinted, had a way of influencing the heart, especially a heart on the verge of magical eruption. Think about it. Stepping into the awakening chamber, knowing that your entire future as a mage was about to be decided in a flash of light and energy, that took guts. It took more than just hoping for the best. It required a core of self-assurance, a belief that you were capable of handling whatever power manifested, that you were worthy of it. This wasn't about wishing for a specific element out of vanity. It was about trusting that the magic that chose you or that you resonated with would be the right one, and that you had the strength to wield it. The rigorous training at Luminous Academy did more than just impart magical theory and physical fitness. It systematically built this essential confidence. Every successfully executed maneuver, every complex magical concept grasped, every grueling training session endured. These were small victories that accumulated over time. They chipped away at self-doubt and replaced it with a growing sense of competence. The students learned that they could overcome challenges, that they could push their boundaries, and that they could learn and grow. This experiential learning was vital. So, as the days ticked down to their respective awakenings, the students who had truly embraced their training, who had faced their fears in the practice yards and the study halls, carried themselves with a different air. It was the quiet confidence that Levi exemplified. They understood that the ceremony wasn't a lottery, it was a culmination. It was the moment their preparation met their potential. And the belief in their own readiness, their own inner strength, was perhaps the most potent magical preparation of all, a silent incantation for success. Luminous Academy was far more than just imposing stone walls and demanding lesson plans. It was a living, breathing community. The atmosphere hummed not just with latent magic, but with the vibrant energy of shared experiences and burgeoning friendships. Sure, there was academic rivalry, that competitive spark that pushed everyone to strive harder, but beneath it and much stronger was a profound sense of camaraderie. These students weren't just classmates, they were becoming a family, bound by their extraordinary circumstances and their common aspirations. A family forged in the fires of magical training. You'd see it everywhere. Older students offering tips to the younger ones on how to handle Professor Griselda's notoriously tricky illusion spells. Study groups huddled in the library, voices low but animated, collectively unraveling the mysteries of ancient runes. Friends sparring in the training yards, pushing each other to improve, their laughter echoing even as they dodged practice bolts of energy. These interactions built bonds that were often stronger than those forged in ordinary schools. They were facing something immense together, this journey into the world of magic. The professors, while often strict and demanding, were also mentors. They saw the potential in each student, the spark of greatness waiting to be fanned into a flame. They offered guidance not just in magic, but in character. They remembered their own awakenings, the triumphs and the stumbles, and they shared their wisdom, helping to navigate the often overwhelming path ahead. This supportive framework, both from peers and instructors, created an environment where students felt safe to explore their limits, to make mistakes, and to ultimately grow. This sense of belonging was crucial. Many students were far from home, undertaking a journey their families might not fully understand. At Luminous, they found others who shared their dreams, their fears, and their exhilarating anticipation for the future. They celebrated each other's small victories and offered comfort during moments of doubt. This collective spirit, this feeling of being part of something larger than themselves, was one of Luminous Academy's greatest strengths. They were all in this together, a generation of mages ready to support each other as they stepped into their power. The final days and hours before an awakening ceremony were always charged with a unique intensity. The usual buzz of excitement in the academy corridors would quieten, replaced by a more focused, almost reverent anticipation. You could see it in the eyes of the students whose 16th birthdays were dawning. They walked with a new sense of purpose, their expressions a mixture of solemnity and barely contained exhilaration. All the years of dreaming, all the months of rigorous training, all the whispered hopes and fears, everything was converging towards this single momentous occasion. The students felt ready, truly ready. The Academy's demanding curriculum had honed their minds and bodies. The unwavering support of their peers and mentors had bolstered their spirits. Characters like Levi had shown them the power of quiet confidence and unwavering preparation. They had learned about the different mana hearts: fire, water, earth, wind, and the whispers of others, not with apprehension, but with an eager curiosity to discover which elemental force resonated within their own souls. They understood the responsibility that came with such power, and they were prepared to embrace it. As the sun prepared to rise on their special day, or as the appointed hour in the awakening chamber drew near, a profound sense of calm often settled over them. The nervous jitters might still flutter like trapped sprites, but beneath them lay a foundation of preparedness. They had done the work, they had faced their doubts, they had visualized this moment countless times. Now, all that remained was to step forward and meet their destiny, to allow the magic within them to finally, gloriously awaken and shine forth for all to see. The challenges ahead were unknown, of course. Mastering their newly awakened powers would be a lifelong journey filled with trials, discoveries, and new heights to scale. But as they stood on the threshold, these students of Luminous Academy were not afraid. They were eager, they were united, they were ready to face whatever came their way, armed with their burgeoning magic, their hard-won confidence, and the unbreakable bonds of camaraderie. A new chapter was beginning, not just for them, but for the world they were about to step into, illuminated by the light of their awakened mana hearts.